Okay, we are getting ready to go live, and we are live. What's up, everybody? AJ here, and I want to welcome you to this live stream on all things didgeridoo related. Excited to be here answering your questions. Just want to make sure you can all hear me well, that it looks good and sounds good, so just let me know in the chat right now. I'm going to be checking the chat over here, make sure that everything is good for you guys, and I'm going to be monitoring your comments this whole time and using those to inform this discussion and answer your questions. So again, let me know in the chat if this is looking good, sounding good, and I'm getting ready to get started. I want to say hello to some people. We got Barry from Texas. What's up, Barry? Nice to see you. We've got Eugene from Oregon. We've got Simon from Quebec. Steve from Minneapolis. Thank you guys for being here. Bembe Buddha, Feliz Año Nuevo from Sunnyside, Queens. Love Queens. Spent a lot of time there when I lived in Brooklyn. And Steve says loud and clear, so that means we are looking good. Well, thanks guys so much for being here. So stoked to have you. I'm going to start off by just playing a little bit of Didge and getting things going this way. Here we go. Whew, so much fun. I love just sitting down to play, no plan, and just making things happen. So let's see. Perfect stream, says Frank. Sounding good. Greetings from Seattle. Sonia, what's up? All right, guys. Ready for your questions. I have been getting a few questions on our various YouTube videos recently. There's one that I will use to start with. I actually didn't bring it in writing, but maybe I can type it in. What people have been asking is how to, when you're doing circular breathing, how to close the gap. And by closing the gap, what they really mean is, you know, when you inhale and you're pushing air out your mouth, how do you keep that sound going while you inhale? I mean, it's like the eternal question that any student of circular breathing will have to answer. So I actually have my second camera here, which is more of a close-up on my mouth, and I'm going to do a little demonstration here, playing the Didge and kind of showing you guys what's going on with the cheeks, but I'm also going to go back to the main camera to show you what's going on with my abs, because I think a lot of people neglect the abdominal muscles when they think about circular breathing, and that's kind of one of the main things. I hear a question in the chat, do you save this live? Can you watch it later? Yes, this will be available later. This same link, you can play it back. It'll be a public YouTube video. And we'll probably take this video and edit it up into shorter segments and put those out as individual YouTube videos to answer specific questions in a shorter format. But anyways, let's talk about closing the gap with circular breathing. Basically what it comes down to is you're squeezing the air out of your cheeks. Let me show you closer up. Like that, right? While you're inhaling. Okay, so what I'm doing there, I've really worked to develop my cheek muscles so that I can squeeze air out. There's a great exercise spitting water. You can do that in the shower. I actually just recorded a video doing that. If you guys want, I can show you again. I didn't bring a clear glass, but I have my water bottle. I can do it with that. And can you hear how I'm inhaling through my nose while I'm pushing air out? So this is what that looks like while playing the didge. So that you hear how long I was inhaling. Hopefully you can hear this mic on my nose at the same time. I have two mics. I have another mic for my didge over there. So hopefully you can hear both of those. Can you guys let me know in the chat if you can hear me inhale while I'm blowing out the didge. All right, so you should be able to hear simultaneously sound going out the didge while I'm inhaling. And the next step is to actually push your abdominal muscles in. It's a little bit hard at this angle. Let me go a little bit wider. There we go. Now you can see my abs a little bit. The camera's pointed a little bit high. It's a little tough for me to adjust it, but there you go. Now you can see me. All right, so you see how I was doing that? See how I was inhaling through my nose, and then as soon as I get to the end of the inhale, I push my abs. That sends air through the didge, and that keeps the circular breathing going. So that's really what it comes down to. Let me show you again on the close-up, but I'm gonna go like this when I push my abs in. So you're not gonna see my abs, but this means I'm pushing my abs in, okay? All right, so that is the first thing to work on if you're looking to close the gap on your circular breathing. That's gonna really get you there. That's gonna get you, you know, getting the air coming out your mouth and then returning to the air coming from your lungs. All right, so here's a question. The same exact question from Manuel. I'm gonna try to bring this up on the stream. Let's see if I can get this in here. What is the best way to do circular breathing, keeping the tune going without being out of air? It's basically the same question. Yeah, like I said, get this question every day. Since I don't see any other questions yet, I might as well show you the water spitting exercise because it is pretty awesome. What I can do is actually, here's a cup that I can use. All right. So I got my water bottle, and I've got a cup of water which I'm going to spit into. Try to use the close-up cam for this. Got a little bit of focus issues with this camera, so it is on autofocus, but it takes a second sometimes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to... there it goes. All right, I'm going to put water in my air, fill my cheeks really full, and I am going to spit them out. Spit the water out. I'm just going to take this comment off the screen. And I'm going to be squeezing the air out, the water out of my mouth, spitting it into the cup. All right, so hopefully you could see, I noticed the camera got a little out of focus there. Hopefully you can see the water spitting. I'll just use the other angle to show it again. But the water is streaming out of my mouth, and I'm inhaling and exhaling out my nose throughout. And that's really what you want to be doing. Okay, so I inhaled about 3 times, 3 full cycles. See if I can get the close-up cam to work this time. There, it looks like it's in focus. Hopefully it stays. Try again. All right, so that's kind of like the #1 exercise for circular breathing. If you can master that, it's going to really, really help you get your circular breathing on. And once you do that, start working the ab muscles. So let's talk more about the ab muscles. Here's a little demonstration of me pumping my abs a little bit more while playing Didge. Alright, so notice every time I push in with my abs, it makes a louder swell of sound come out. It's like, ah, 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 ah. And that's really what you need to do to build these muscles. So you can practice singing it like I just did. You can practice without singing. You can just use your breath. This is just one continuous exhale that I'm doing. And then finally, play it with the Didge. Or actually, before you play with the Didge, do it with your lips buzzing. All right, now with the Didge. All right, then once you have the abs strong, you have the cheeks strong from the water spitting exercises, you're going to start alternating back and forth. So abs, cheeks, abs, cheeks. So that, I'm not doing circular breathing yet. What I'm doing is I'm showing you guys how to move the muscles in alternating motion. And then what I'm going to do is take that exact rhythm and I'm going to do it with circular breathing. So the only thing different that I do, the sound coming out of the Didge is going to be exactly the same, but what's different is now I'm going to be I'm going to be inhaling as the cheeks push in. That's the only difference. The sound that you hear is exactly the same, and I don't even need to be inhaling every time my cheeks squeeze in. I could inhale once every 4 times my cheeks squeeze in or something like that. So let's check that one out. So that is kind of how I work up to closing the gap on circular breathing, or, keep the tune going without losing the breath or without losing the sound while you're breathing in. So I hope that answered that question. Again, I am taking your questions in the chat. Don't see any new questions yet, so just go ahead and type them in. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you another thing that I find really useful with didgeridoo if you want to learn to play many different rhythms. So to play different rhythms, what it comes down to is taking small segments of rhythms and putting them together. So what I like to think of is what I was just showing you, the abs and the cheeks, or abs inhale. I like to think of that as ha in. So ha, ha, ha. So a little segment of 2 beats, ha in. And I got my cool little iPad visualizer here. So I'll try to bring this onto the screen. Let's see how this looks. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit high up, so let me do this again. Let's write it up here. Ha, in. All right, so you see it up in the corner there. It's white on a white background, which is not great, but I think you guys can see that. So ha in. And then the other one is ha in ha. And I write the second ha with a lowercase. Why? Because this way I distinguish the difference between the strong push of the abs or a gentle push of the abs. So the small h ha is like a weaker push. So that's the ha in ha. That's a 3-beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ha in ha, ha in ha. So if I were just to play ha in ha, this is what it would sound like. So that's the 3-beat rhythm. And then if I just want to go, or if I want to now start combining them, say I go exactly as it's written on screen, ha in ha, this is what that looks like. So if you can count the number of syllables there, it's 5. What I was just playing is a 5-beat rhythm. And this is basically how I construct rhythms. You can build any number, you know, as low as 2. I mean, you can even go down to 1, but by combining segments of 2 and 3. So for example, let me get this off. If I wanted to do 3, 3, 2, which is actually a very common one, it would be ha in ha, ha in ha, ha in. And what I'm going to do is actually type that one in instead of writing it with the iPad. So ha in ha, small h on the second one, ha in ha, and then ha in. So this is the next one here that I'm going to bring up. All right, so this is the rhythm that I'm playing right now. You should see it on screen. Ha in ha, ha in ha, ha in. 3, 3, 2. The big H is the first beat of each one of these segments. So here's what this sounds like. So that's how I build rhythms, and I'm going to cover that approach more in an upcoming course. Definitely want you guys to participate in that. I will let you know when that comes out, but I am writing the whole curriculum on that now. We're going to focus on rhythms, on using your voice, and on composition. So it's kind of a very broad didgeridoo players musicianship course that I haven't fully done before. I've done a lot of basic stuff. I've done the intermediate level stuff. For groups, we used to do them live in Brooklyn and online as well. But this is going to be a new course for all of you guys out there, and it's going to be predominantly online because we're not doing much in person these days. All right, so I'm seeing some movement in the chat. Let's go see what we got there. All right, here we go. We've got, let's see. I'm wondering about managing saliva as it builds up. Can you learn to swallow without stopping, or is this not a problem for you? Hello, Steve. Nice to hear from you. I know Steve because he's been a client of ours for a while, taking lessons with us and got things from our store. So thanks for being here, Steve. The answer is there's a bunch of ways to manage saliva, and you don't need to stop playing when saliva builds up. I've dealt with this a lot over the years, and saliva is just part of didge playing. If you've been playing for long periods of time, you'll notice saliva tends to trickle down the instrument and come out the end. You could say it's saliva, or you could say it's condensation from the warmth of your breath. Different people say different things, and probably different players have a different amount coming out. The answer is yes. You can, one, swallow saliva while you're playing and not lose the sound. I just discovered it out of necessity, and if I could teach you how to do it, I would. But I think it's really something that's just going on, and you just need to try it and just, you know, use your cheeks to keep pushing the air out as you swallow. That's the basics of it. I'll try to demonstrate it. I don't know. I've never really like shown this to anyone, but by necessity, I've had to do it before. Really hard to demonstrate, but I did just swallow pretty much every time I squeezed my cheeks there. One time I inhaled. I didn't swallow that time, but like the 2 or 3 other times, yes, I was swallowing. The other thing about saliva is just let it flow. Just let it go through the didge. Just get it out of your mouth, get it out of your way, and it's not going to hurt anyone. You know, it might leave a little puddle there. You got to clean that up when you're done, but that's the bottom line with that. All right. Next question. How do you keep a good seal while emptying the cheeks? Also, does something applied to the opening help with a good seal? All right, so I think the question here, let's go close up for this because we're going to talk about the cheeks here, is how do you keep a good seal while maintaining the air coming out of your cheeks? One thing I always tell the students in our programs is you've got to, sorry, this camera just will not focus. You've got to be very relaxed on the inside of the mouthpiece, and so that the lip buzz isn't really affected by the amount of movement of your cheeks. So for example, your lips are buzzing, they're vibrating, and you're squeezing your cheeks in and out. It's, again, this is one of those things just very hard to show. What might be nice is if I get one of those glass didgeridoos, then you could maybe see my lips vibrating. I don't know. But visualize the vibration of your lips continuing throughout the whole time that your lips are vibrating. Throughout whatever's happening rhythmically, whatever's happening with your cheeks, whatever's happening with your abs, lips just continue to vibrate evenly. It's really hard to demonstrate, but if you can start to see that the lips vibrate evenly, hear the sound pitch not changing at all as you squeeze your cheeks, that's going to be really, really helpful, and I think that that might get you there. So try that out, see if that's helpful, and that's kind of like one of the best pieces of advice I could give, is just to hear the sound continuing. Now, as far as your seal with your lips, if you can, and tell me in the chat, you know, Jeff, if you can already play the didge and you have a really solid sound, and you have a really solid seal when you're playing without doing any rhythm, just on a straight tone. If you can do that and you have a really solid tone, and there's no air escaping, then that's great. If you're doing that, just playing a straight tone, and there's air escaping or you're losing the seal, you might want to check your mouthpiece. If you have a beeswax mouthpiece, you might want to work it a little more till it shapes better to meet your face. If you're playing a didge with a mouthpiece that's too big, that a lot of times I have seen people have issues with getting a good seal, because if it's too big, you know, say it's like this, I'll show you closer up, say it's like this, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but like, how are you going to get a good seal with that? I've seen didges where it's like pressed up against the person's nose to get a good seal. That's just, for me, I'm like, I can't seriously play on that. It's not going to work for me. So that's kind of the best answer that I have for you. I hope this is helpful. If you have a more specific question about it, definitely write it in the chat and we'll follow up on it. All right, what we got next? All right, we got one from Frank about the rhythms. Sometime in my practice, ha in and ha in ha and ha in wiu is working, but not for more than 6 or 8 times. Is there an exercise to make it stay longer, or is it only practice? I guess one of my questions for you, Frank, is are you doing circular breathing? Because if you are doing circular breathing, yes, you should be able to make this last 20, 40, 50 times. I already showed the ha in and the ha in ha. Frank's obviously taken some of our courses and he knows these rhythms that we teach. So the ha in wiu rhythm is basically the same ha in that we started with, and the wiu is with the tongue. So this is what that one sounds like. So hopefully you guys could hear that wee-u. It's a very, high-pitched overtone sound. E-u. So that's kind of what's going on there. And how to make it stay longer. I mean, if you're just doing it on one breath without circular breathing, you might not be able to go more than 6 or 8 times. But as long as you're doing an inhale every time that you get to the in part of the rhythm, so the ha in or the ha in ha, then you should be able to sustain this for a longer period of time, and it's probably an issue with circular breathing. So that's what I would suggest, is just work on your circular breathing and you'll be able to get those down. All right, do you have any tips how to mix the dingo, kangaroo boing, and kookaburras? Thanks, congrats on the nice stream, Manuel. Well, that's really great that you asked that. Some of you may or may not know that I learned a lot of these animal sounds from Lewis Burns, an Aboriginal didgeridoo player who's come and worked with us here in our community in New York. He's come to America. He's worked with the Indigenous Festival out in Oregon many times, and that's where I met him. And we have a really good relationship with him. Love you, Brother Lewis. Thank you for everything you've taught to us. And he's taught us these various animal sounds. And I do definitely recommend that you go to the Aboriginal people to learn the animal sounds. What I'm showing of those animal sounds is just what I've learned from Lewis and other Aboriginal people who've shared knowledge, and I've also just been able to hear them play Didge and kind of figure it out on my own. I've had other people show me, but really, if you want to learn Aboriginal playing, go to the Aboriginal people. That being said, how to mix these different sounds. So just to really briefly demonstrate, the dingo would be like this. The kangaroo boing would be like the wee-u sounds. And the kookaburras are like a ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka. So when you hear Aboriginal players play, they kind of use these as sound effects. You could also bring them in rhythmically. There's a lot of different ways. One thing is, if I'm just doing like an ambient drone type of playing, like in a sound bath or holding space or meditation or even a performance, but I'm at a point in a performance where I'm not playing very rhythmically, this is where I'd bring in some of these sound effects. Something like this. And then if I wanted to, within a rhythm, do some barks, which is like kind of another dingo call, I'll try to just play, I'm going to be playing like a faster rhythm, and I'm going to bring in some of these sounds. so that's kind of what I would do if I wanted to incorporate those animal sounds more into rhythmic playing. A lot of ways to do it. Gotta just kind of experiment. A lot of Didge is sitting down, once you know all the technical side of it, sitting down and combining the different pieces together and really figuring it out on your own. And we're here to show you guys what we know, but I'm sure you can discover a lot of other things that we don't know on your own, and that's a big part of what this instrument is about. All right, let's see. Is it possible to do the exercise that is like water spitting but only with lip trills, i.e. without using the actual didge to not disturb neighbors? And the truth about this one is yes, you can, and I will demonstrate it. I'm just gonna do a little camera adjustment here. I'm gonna try to take this off autofocus and just get it more focused in on me here. That way I don't need to worry about it catching me. All right. All right, so the lip buzz, let me just focus it one more time. That looks pretty good. Okay. Lip buzz with inhaling. It's hard, first of all. Let me just preface that. Try again. I don't think I've ever demonstrated that on camera before, so good thing you asked. Again. So there you go. That is the lip buzz on without a didge, without spitting water, circular breathing while buzzing the lips. All right. Okay, let's see. There was another one that just popped up. I don't know what happened to it. Okay. Okay, that was the same thing. My question for learning circular breathing. What are some pros and cons in your opinion of synthetic made didge versus natural made didges? Great question. Definitely something I deal with all the time as we sell here at Didge Project a variety of didgeridoos. Naturally made didgeridoos are, well, okay, natural material. So let's talk wood. Hardwood didgeridoos are going to give you the loudest sound, and you have kind of the most control out of shaping them, I would say, because the makers can, I mean, you can take any block of wood as long as you can carve it into a tube. You can hollow out the inside however you want. So as far as from a making standpoint, hardwood didgeridoos are going to give you the most control over the sound. Also, the tone is, to me, I like the tone the best. Other people might feel otherwise. I do have here the air didge, which is our carbon fiber didge, and our plastic travel didge. So the air didge here is this plastic, let's see, plastic mouthpiece, carbon fiber didgeridoo. I'll give you guys a little sound sample. And, well, the advantage is obviously that it's so portable. I mean, I can just break it down. I mean, let's just see. You know, for me to fold it up, I can fold it up in about 2 seconds here. And there we go. There's the air didge. So it goes from this, which is about 1.5 feet, out to 6 feet in 1 second. And ready to play. Also, it has this slide and tune adapter. My wood slide, this didge that I've been playing here, also has a slide, and I'll demonstrate that. So it's kind of, you can get that either way. But here's the air didge. Also, I have this on a very long, low setting right now. I could take off a piece or use the slide to get it higher if I wanted to. Actually, with this slide and tune adapter, I can get almost any key. But anyways, here's the air didge, so you can hear a little sound difference. Alright, so there's that. And then I'm going to get the plastic one. This one's got the rubber mouthpiece. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to hold it up. There you go, rubber mouthpiece. And this one is the most affordable, probably the most affordable Didge in our store. I would say it's the most affordable quality didgeridoo that's out there because it plays really good. And if you're just learning didgeridoo, for anyone who's learning in our courses that doesn't want to spend too much money, this is Didge we send them to. And for the most part, we have really good results. And then I'll go back to my wood slide, which is a hardwood Didge. Of course, this has been made with multiple pieces of wood. Let's try to hold up the whole thing. There you can see the bell. This is the main Didge that I've been playing on for almost 10 years. And I mean, the quality of the sound is just phenomenal. Pretty much, if you heard our album As One, this is the Didge I use on that. It's the Didge I use on all of our Dream Seed recordings, if you guys follow Dream Seed, our music group. And here's what it sounds like. So, of course, I favor this sound more than the other two. And, you know, a lot of it is price. For hardwood didgeridoo, you're usually looking at minimum $400 or $500 for a quality instrument. Wood slides, they were around 600 euros now. I don't even know what they are. I think they're like $1,000 now. They're so excellent. I do recommend them. We don't sell them in our store yet. We might soon. But anyways, a lot of it is price. And then weight, of course. This thing, ooh, this is heavy. I mean, that thing is heavy. The air Didge and the plastic Didge, especially the air Didge, is like, I mean, this thing is like, what, 1 or 2 pounds? It's ridiculously light. And the plastic Didge is not much more than that. It's maybe 3. Like the air Didge is just a hair lighter, but not that big of a difference. So yeah, that is the difference on the different makes and the different, that's my opinion on the different types of Didges that are out there. All right, is there a quieter Didge to learn or to use practice techniques in apartments without bothering neighbors? That's a tough one. Wow. Well, I think in general, those 2 Didges I just played are quieter than this, but Didge, it's funny, Didge is a somewhat of a loud instrument, but then at the same time, it's, if you try to play with like a couple drummers, you almost can't hear the Didge, and it's not that loud. I would say if you're really looking to learn Didge, you're gonna have to make the effort to just play the instrument and be a little shameless, talk to your neighbors, be like, hey, I'm playing this musical instrument, do you mind if I play a half hour, an hour here and there? I can let you know. And I've lived with many people during my tenure as a musician, and it's not just Didge. You know, I played trombone for a long time, much louder instrument than a Didge. Played trumpet, flute, piano, keyboards, guitar. All of those instruments bleed through walls. They bleed through the floors. They bleed through the ceiling. Drums, forget about it. I mean, you can hear a bass of a drum from the other side of a house. I mean, it's just the nature of music. You could try to treat your rooms a little better. You know, a lot of sound carries through walls, through doors and through cracks, through outlets. So there's a lot of things you can do to seal off door frames, to seal off outlets. You take the cover off, do some caulking around the inside of an outlet, and those little things make a difference. Putting that foam padding on the walls is great for treating the sound inside of a wall, inside of a room, but it's not going to prevent any sound from getting out. So, you know, if you're in that situation, you have neighbors, you live in an apartment, best thing to do, talk to your neighbors. Don't just try to Don't just bother them, you know? Like, talk to them. Maybe they're cool with it. Maybe they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I understand." Maybe, here, what about from, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day? That's fine time for us. We're watching TV anyways, and we'll barely notice, you know? So just try to open a healthy dialogue. That's what the Dalai Lama recommends. If you want to create peace, healthy dialogue is the way. Watch that Dalai Lama documentary on YouTube. You'll hear him talk about it. All right. George Flynn. Hello, George. Nice to see you here. Are there people who cannot learn to circular breathe or just not enough teaching or practice? So, I have had students that have tried to learn circular breathing for years and years, and they just cannot get it. And it is possible. I think, personally though, anyone could learn circular breathing if you really just sit down. There's about 5 or 6 different approaches to circular breathing, and you really sit with each one, and you rotate through them, and then you start combining them. So one of them is called bounce breathing. One of them is called that like abs, cheeks alternating thing that I was showing you before. Another approach is just doing that water spitting. And there's a lot of different exercises. Actually, we have a course called the Circular Breathing Mastery Program, which I do recommend to people. George, you might already have tried the Circular Breathing Mastery Program. I'm not entirely sure, but let's see. Can I bring this in? Yeah, here we go. All right, so Circular Breathing Mastery. I mean, we just show you a bunch of different exercises. There's about 20 different exercises that we show you in the course. There's little video clips of each one, and then there's like 3-hour-long classes that you can sit through and really try it all. And, I think anyone can do it. And if worse comes to worse, you can't get circular breathing through a pre-recorded course, take private lessons. We actually offer private lessons at Didge Project, and for the most part, even people who are very skeptical about circular breathing are able to get it, and it varies person by person. But I think that I've had students as young as like 11 years old up to almost 80 years old get circular breathing, and it is possible, it is doable. So again, just keep trying all the different approaches and, take some private lessons if worse comes to worse. And I'm fairly confident that with a teacher, you can get there. All right. So again, if you want to check out Circular Breathing Mastery Program, we also have a few other didgeridoo courses on our store, or go to our courses page, didgeproject.com/courses or didgeproject.com/store. All right. This is great, guys. I'm loving how this is going. I'm hoping that it's still sounding good and looking good out there. It's really fun from here, having these 2 cameras, and I have my multi-view monitor and my camera switcher, and I have all your comments there, and I have my iPad. It's such a joy for me. It's a lot to manage, but at the same time, it's like so great, and I'm looking forward to doing this a lot more. All right, so we've got 33 people with us today. Thanks, guys, for being here. It really means a lot, and I'm happy to be sharing. Doing it live, doing it publicly is a great way to reach out to new people and our existing people and just bring it all together. Keep growing. All right. Simon says, thanks a lot for the detailed answer. Great work and videos, by the way. They make me grow a lot as a musician. Thank you, Simon, for the support. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Keep watching. I just recorded about 6 more tutorial videos that are going to be coming, including how to play didgeridoo with a shaker, I did one of those videos with the water spitting, like really detailed on circular breathing. I did 2 advanced rhythm tutorials, so look out for that with a metronome and everything, and a few other ones. So they're going to keep coming. Watch out for these videos on YouTube in the coming months. They are coming soon. I recorded them all in the last 2 weeks. All right, what do we got next? Let's see. I'm planning to make a didge out of an agave stalk. Is it important for the sound to coat the soft inside pulpy walls with epoxy or some hardener? Any advice on how I should make it? Yes, epoxy definitely on the inside of the yucca or agave, because that would is very soft. And if you don't treat the inside, the moisture from saliva and just the moisture from the breath will get into the wood and eventually start to rot it out. So you really do have to pour epoxy inside. You spin the didge. So it's kind of like, imagine this were agave. You literally have to like pour, once you I don't know if you want to do the inside or outside first. Maybe it's better to do the inside first, then you can just be holding it without having to worry about the other coat. But you literally pour the epoxy in there and then you spin it around, and you gotta shine a flashlight in there, look inside, make sure that, you know, everything is coated, that you didn't miss any spots. That's really important. And that's gonna really help you get that good seal that you need on that instrument. So, you know, some makers do split and hollow on agave and yucca, where you actually split the whole thing in half, hollow it out, and then glue it back together. They use little dowels sometimes to glue it back together. That's a very common hardwood technique. On agave and yucca, you know, I haven't actually done it myself, but what I would suggest is to contact some didge makers. There's a Didgeridoo Makers Forum on Facebook, which I'm a member of. I don't make too many didgeridoos these days. I have in the past. More synthetic and plastic and stuff, but I have messed around with making some hardwood didges, specifically with Lewis Burns. He helped us make some, but I haven't actually done any split and hollowing. There's also a great book out there. I think it's called the Didgeridoo Phenomenon, and it actually has a bunch of articles written by different authors on didgeridoo making. So you might want to check that book out. I have that book somewhere, and I remember that book was like $45, $50, but I wanted to get it because it had a lot of useful information on it. I don't get any money if you buy that book. I'm not affiliated anyway. Just letting you know, it's a great book. I'm going to type it into the chat. I think it's called Didgeridoo Phenomenon book. I should actually look that up if that is what it's called. All right. Let's see what we got. Thoughts on box didges. You know, we sell the wooden spiral didgeridoo. I don't actually have one here, but it's, the pressure is not ideal when you have an instrument coiled up like that. I have played like the Meinl Didge boxes and the other Didge boxes. I just don't think that they're as good for learning on. If you already play Didge and you just want something portable to bring around and have fun with, great, but they don't sound as good and they don't play as good. That's the bottom line. The wooden spiral Didges that we have, they sound okay. I don't think they play as good as a straight Didge. I mean, I'd be honest with you. I'm someone who sells these instruments, and I just don't, personally, as a performer, I wouldn't perform on one. And they don't speak to me. The only reason they're beneficial is because, like, hey, yeah, if I really wanted to, I could be driving my car and playing one with one hand. I could be, you know, walking down the street playing one. I could throw it in my side bag, but I'd much rather take an air didge with me because it extends straighter and longer. And if I'm doing sound healing work and I need to be up moving around and playing on people, an air didge is also much better because it's longer and you can reach out to people. So the long straight tube has its purpose and its significance, and I like it better. Okay, just came in a bit ago, not sure if you covered it. Is there a way to quiet the intake of the breath through the nose? What's up, Mitch? Thank you for being here. Yeah, you can. You could practice, just practicing without the didge, just practicing the inhale, like, so there's a difference between, which is taking in a lot of air. So practice taking in tiny sips of air through your nose. You should still be able to hear me. I'm even exaggerating it, but take in such a small amount of air that it's like not even noticeable, and that's how you're gonna get there. I hope that answers your question, but just practice inhaling. I guess I'll show you once on the didge. Here, first let me show you a loud inhale. And then a quiet one. So yeah, I can pretty much make it not completely inaudible, but much quieter when I inhale. Hope that's helpful. Okay. Manuel says, to resonate health, bring in your didge with you to an open space, i.e. going out for a walk in the woods helps with peace of mind and your neighbors. Work for me. That is a great tip. It's a little tough here in the Northeast in the winter because there's snow out. Right now there's no snow out, but there will be soon, and it's not so easy to be outside playing for long periods of time. Okay. Simon, are there any tricks to play around the natural tone of a didge? For example, my didge natural tone is C minor. If I jam with people in F, is there some technique to reach and play a drone close to it? It's a very interesting question. What you can do is, first of all, going from C to F is a huge jump. So unless you're getting a trumpet tone on a didge, you're not going to, on a C drone didge, you're not going to be able to play an F. Trumpet tones are the higher frequencies. So if this is my drone, this is my trumpet tone. And I'm playing a little quiet because I don't want to blow out the mic. It might already be blowing it out. I can tell on the audio meter it's pretty loud. But say my drone is C and then my first trumpet tone is F. So yeah, I could play around with it like that potentially. But in reality, I'm not really gonna get I'm not going to get all the way from C to F. Now, if it's a half step away, there is a possibility of bending the tone. So for example, say this is a D didge. I think this is probably around a D pitch, and I want to bend up to D sharp. By tightening my lips, using my corners of my mouth and my jaw, I'll go close up for this one. Get this circular breathing thing off. You know, you might be able to get a little bit higher. And a little bit lower by dropping the jaw. I don't even know if I'm getting a full half step. It's close, but it's not totally there. So honestly, those are your options. Bending the pitch with your mouth, and you're only going to get up to like a half step, or hitting the trumpet tone. I'll try trumpet tone on here just to see what I'm getting. So I can drone this trumpet tone and kind of like play with it and play some rhythms. So that's kind of what's my options there. Now, learning trumpet tones is a whole art form, and there's a couple didge players out there that they really base a lot of their technique on trumpet tones, like Andre Smekal, if you guys know him. Very phenomenal, virtuoso didge player, like just fantastic. And what he'll do, I mean, I can't play like him, but if I were to play trumpet tones, you know, it'd be something more like this. So that's a little demo of the trumpet tone playing. That takes a lot of exertion, like, whew. I felt feel like a lot of heat in my head just from doing that, just like that 1 minute of playing. So trumpet tone, again, it's a whole art form. It's a very different approach. I don't get into it too much because it's kind of, I used to play with it more, but it's kind of more of a, I don't know, it's just a different style. I personally like the more meditative aspect of like staying within the drone and exploring the voice and the tongue sounds more. But sometimes if we have a dance or something where I need to bring out some playing like that, I will, and I will play like that. All right. Wow. George Flynn says the book is now $214 on Amazon or $3.99 on eBay. That's ridiculous. He's talking about the Didgeridoo Phenomenon, that book that I have that I paid $50 for 5 years ago. Jesus. All right. Do you use or recommend rhythmic backing tracks to play along with? And if so, any favorite sources? Yes, definitely. Since I have my iPad hooked up, I can show you guys iTablaPro, which is a super duper sweet app. I have to set up the sound for this, so bear with me for a sec. But iTablaPro is my #1 backing track because it has really good sounds. Oops. And it's just really sweet. So let's see, how can I get this in? Let's see, camera 3. So let's see, I can put it on full screen. Anyways, yeah, I'll just have to probably bring it on full screen for now. And I'll show you guys how to do it. So this is iTablaPro, and let's say I just want to play a drone here. This is what it sounds like. So awesome. I have these different things here. You can turn the tabla on or off, which is the, let's turn the sound down here a little bit. The tabla here, so I'm on this mixer on the right here, where I'm sliding it up and down. The tabla is the beat. The sherpeti is like a melodic thing, but the tempura are these two drone sounds. But if I just wanted tabla, for example, I would just turn that on. I can change the key. So for Didge, this is excellent. So I'm gonna play, now I have iTablaPro on. I'm wearing my headphones so I can hear it. You guys can hear iTabla, right? Can you hear it in the stream? Just give me a thumbs up or let me know before I start playing. Just wanna make sure you can hear what I'm actually feeding in there. Waiting for you guys to give me that thumbs up. And let's see, I wish I could get it on screen. Anyways, I'm gonna start playing it. Just waiting. Can you guys hear iTablaPro? Give me a thumbs up, or just say yes, you can hear it. Yep, Steve says you can hear it. Great. All right, so I'll turn it up a little bit, and you'll hear me play Didge with the tabla. First, I'm gonna try to match the tone. Is a wonderful, wonderful backing track. I really hope you guys enjoyed that because I just love playing with it. There are definitely a lot of other apps out there. There's I have another one called Drum Pro. Frank is asking if I know another similar Android app. Yeah, there's one out there. I actually posted it on another video. Let me see if I can find it. And yeah, I mean, let me just show you what else you can do with this before I move on. So you have, you know, you can change the tempo here, make it faster or slower. you can change the key, obviously. Here's a bunch of preset beats from Indian classical music, but you can just look at the number. That's how many beats are in the cycle. So another common one is called Teen Tal. Let's hear this one. And if I want to speed it up, just go here. If I want to add the drones, just turn the tempuras on. That's pretty much how you do it. So that's iTablaPro. There's another app I have. Let's see if I have it on here. It's called Drumbeat or something like that. Drumbeat Plus. Okay, let's bring this one on. And you know, there's just a lot of different beats here. This one, I think Drumbeats Plus is like a $5 app. The other one, iTablaPro, is like a $30 app. Let's see. These are clicks. Break beats. So if you wanted to play something like this, maybe. There we go. So yeah, lot you can do with backing tracks, and there's a lot more apps out there. You can download pre-recorded loops, and you can use Logic, you can use Ableton Live. There's tons of software. I'm definitely into it. Another thing is live looping, where you kind of create your own beats on the fly. I don't know if you guys have seen that video of Jerry Walsh on our channel. I think it came out like a couple months ago, where he's doing the throat singing, and he's using flutes and didgeridoos and a lot of different stuff. And yeah, live looping is great. And I'm really into it. I mean, there's people out there who are way better at it than I am. Actually, I would like to explore it. I just haven't got around to it, but eventually we'll probably get there. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. All right, let's keep going. Got a lot of questions. Very happy about that. Before I continue, I do want to let you guys know about, if you haven't already seen it, for those of you who are new to Didge Project, we have this free class here, the Didgeridoo Fundamentals course, and it's totally free. It's like a 45-minute class that I did with Jerry Walsh, just showing some of the basics, some of the stuff that I demonstrated here, plus a lot of things about just getting a really nice quality tone. Just want to tell you guys, go ahead, sign up for that, and make sure that you have the basics down before you try to get into more advanced playing, because a lot of people, they try to learn circular breathing right off the bat without really having a good didge tone yet, and it can create problems because you really need to establish those foundational steps before you get further and more into more advanced playing. So Didgeridoo Fundamentals, check it out. Really great course. All right, back to the questions. Here we go. What are your thoughts on a specific tone for meditation or trance while playing Didge? I'm more keen in the spiritual and energetic healing application of the Didge sound. I think that, Manuel, are you asking about a specific key, or are you asking about like the tone quality of a specific Didge? I can kind of answer both, and you let me know in the chat what you're asking about specifically. But I think that there's not one key or another that works better. It just depends on the context of what you're trying to create. I do think that low tones are very nice for meditation. So Didges in B, C, C sharp, D, that range of sounds, and even lower than that, is generally ideal for meditation. Once you start getting up to E and F and G, those higher Didges, it's just not necessarily as ideal for the type of playing that you're looking to do in meditation. So I would go with the lower tones, but you know, sometimes some shamanic sounds can be very loud and forceful and still very effective for meditation and taking people out of their daily situation. So yeah, I mean, there's no limit, there's no right or wrong necessarily, but Manuel's saying it's the key. So yeah, I would stick with those lower tones. I think B, C, C sharp, D, those are all great keys to go with for meditation. And a lot of it depends on the context. Like, what are the other instruments that you're playing with? If someone has an E or F crystal bowl that you want to play with, go with E or F. It's still going to work. But if you're playing solo didge and you have the luxury to choose a tone, or you have a slide instrument like a wood slide, or this one particularly goes down to C, then yeah, by all means, go for the lower tones. And as long as you can play it, because some of the lower didges, they have lower back pressure and they're harder to play. So make sure you can play comfortably at those keys. All right, just drink some water. All right, Resonate Health saying another idea just came to mind. Haven't tried yet. There are rap making apps like Off Top that have beats tracks you can loop and record to. Yep, like I said, there's so many apps out there. I don't even know all of them, but they're out there and they're available. So explore them, experiment with them. Send me your videos and recordings. I just want to hear what people are doing, because I mean, the didge itself is infinite, and you start putting it with other music and it's just vast. So much can be done. Manuel's asking, do I mean lower hertz frequencies? Well, yes, lower keys are in lower hertz frequencies. So a B versus a D right above it, the B will be a lower hertz frequency. The lower the hertz, the lower the pitch of the didge will be. Can you be considered a didge player if you can make tons of cool beats and sounds but can't circular breathing? Yeah, sure. I mean, especially if you're using loop stations and stuff, you don't need circular breathing. You can play really cool beats, rhythms, all that stuff. I mean, circular breathing is more associated with didgeridoo than any other popular instrument or commonly known instrument. There are some other flutes and things that are also associated with circular breathing, but didgeridoo is more popular than any of those. So yeah, of course you're a didge player. You don't need to do circular breathing to be a didge player. Okay, wow. How long have we been going? This has been great. I'm going for an hour and 7 minutes. Cool. Well, my goal is to go for an hour and a half. So, give me a minute. All right, there was a link that I was going to give someone to. I think it was the Didgeridoo Phenomenon book, and someone posted that it's there. So, okay, Android Lehra Box. That is the iTablaPro comparable app for Android. So definitely go for that one. Is circular breathing the fundamental of them all, or is it valuable to learn other techniques even if you don't have circular breathing down yet? Circular breathing is not the most fundamental technique on didgeridoo. Getting a good sound, buzzing your lips right, breathing properly, doing the tongue sounds, doing the ab sounds, doing the cheek sounds, doing the voice sounds, all those things, that's 7 things I just named, are, other than the voice sounds, you pretty much need those 6 to be able to circular breathe in the first place. So you need those 6 fundamentals before you even get to circular breathing. And yeah, so what did I just say? Learning how to buzz your lips, learning how to squeeze your cheeks, learning how to push your abs, learning how to vocalize while playing, learning how to move your tongue, wee-you, playing with your throat open. All these things are fundamentals. We cover that in our Didgeridoo Fundamentals course. So again, I'll pull that up again. Just remind you guys that get this, if you're new to didgeridoo, get the Didgeridoo Fundamentals course, because it's going to show you how to do all these basic things, and it's a free course that we have on our site, so just go for it. Whew, okay, let's see. All right, so There was one other thing I do want to show you guys, which is pretty important as far as basic techniques goes, which is how to stretch your lips. I really do need this camera to focus. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, right there. All right, so lip stretching. This is like the fundamental warm-up that I teach in most of our courses, and it's how to get your lips ready to play didgeridoo. So before you touch the didge, before you buzz your lips, when someone comes to me and says they don't know how to buzz their lips, I show them these lip stretches, and this is very, very important. So what you do is you take your two hands and you start pulling out your lips. You don't want to feel any pain, but you do want to feel a nice stretch. Going side to side. (10, 15 seconds). Now top one. Okay, and then sucking them in. Rolling them over the teeth. Really important, these exercises. Now try buzzing your lips. If they still feel a little stiff, then do the whole thing over again. Now, after you've really stretched them out, then the next thing you want to do, don't play the didge yet, is you just want to buzz your lips for about 5 minutes. I'm not going to do 5 minutes, but I'll show you long tones, full breaths. Using the support from your abdominal muscles lower down here. All right, so that is the essential didgeridoo warm-up. And if someone ever tells you, or if any of you out there are having trouble buzzing your lips, do that. Do that every day for a few days, and you'll be playing didgeridoo. You'll be getting a buzz. Now, another thing that's really essential that I want to show you guys is tightening the corners of your mouth. This I actually learned from brass technique, playing the trombone. I played trombone, for those of you who don't know, in middle school, high school, and college. So I think I played 12 years or 11 years in formal school setting, and then I played for a couple years after that, continued. I don't really play much anymore, although some friends are asking me to play on some projects, but I pretty much translated a lot of those skills over to didgeridoo. And what you want to do is when you buzz your lips, there's like a completely loose lip buzz like that, but then there's tightening the corners of your mouth here, and you notice how that changes the frequency where I'm buzzing at. And then totally loose, it looks like this. So what this does is it allows you to get the drone. You're actually changing the pitch of where your lips are buzzing. And what you want to do is meet your lips frequency at the frequency of the didge, which is based on the length and dimensions of the didge. So sometimes what might happen is there's a didge there, and you go to play it, but your lips are either buzzing too loose or too tight, and this is pretty common. So that actually sounded fine, but if my lips are too loose, my lips are too tight, I just won't hit the drum. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate starting a little bit too loose, and then I tighten the corners of my mouth, press the lips towards each other until I find the sweet spot and hit the drone. Again. Again. Can you guys see how the muscles of my face are contracting? I'm trying to really do it in a way that you guys can tell when it's happening. All right, so that is how I am finding the drone based on meeting the didge where it wants to naturally vibrate. These are just some essential didgeridoo playing techniques that I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of the questions that people ask can be easily fixed by just these few basic things. All right, I have another question. Do I see people overblowing? I have been playing softer and seem to have a better tone and control. Overblowing meaning like playing too loud or putting too much air through the instrument. Yes and no. So one technique that I actually encourage people to do is when you blow out, when you're too full of air, which is a question I've been getting a lot of people having trouble regulating because they're too full of air from circular breathing, is actually just blow out a lot. Basically do an overblow into the didge to release some of that air. So what that is like this. So this is just a technique for regulating. But if people are generally playing too loud, then yes, this could be a problem. So if people are playing too loud, then what I suggest is just to practice playing quieter. So if I'm just holding that drone at that low intensity, it is not the full sound, but it's a really good practice on how to keep the air flowing. And sometimes you might, like at the end of a meditation or at a very low point, you might want to sustain a drone that's very low like that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Sometimes I do see people playing too loud, too forceful, and I tell them to back off, but more often than not, I see people underplaying. So I generally have to tell people, you got to put more air through the instrument. I find myself telling that to people more often than the opposite. Cool. All right, well, I've been here for an hour and 18 minutes, and it's just been great. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Let's see if I missed any. But what I'll probably do is go out with another iTablaPro jam, because that was a lot of fun. And let's see. Yeah. If anyone has any more last questions, now's your last chance. Otherwise, I'm just going to go out with a jam, and it's been really fun, guys. I've really, really enjoyed playing for you guys and sharing all the knowledge with you. Cool. So let's pull up iTablaPro again. Show you guys how I'm setting it up. And let's see. D is good, because I played D before first. I really like that rhythm. Start with the Johnny. A lot of these ones here, like the 7, 6, 9, 12, they're a little more complex. The Johnny and the Tintal are two of the most common ones. Sorry, I just realized that drum app has been on this whole time. I'm going to stop it. All right, here we go. Try to go a little faster. Somewhere around there. So I'm at 150 beats per minute. Go a little slower, say 140. 143, key of D. All right, here we go. See another question. I'll address it after this jam. Whew, thank you guys. That was a lot of fun. I hope that it sounded all right. It's been really, really great. All right, we got one last question here. A couple. Is it okay to play not in the middle of the lips, but on the side? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm always playing on the side. The side playing, to me, is you're just going to get a better sound. But since you asked, I will demonstrate very briefly the difference. Middle playing, very quickly, is better for trumpet tones. So, getting these tones. Side playing, you're just going to get a better quality of the harmonics and the overtone sounds. Which for me is the main way that I play. That's why I play more to the side. In reality, there's no perfect center, but I do find it a little more difficult to play in the center. Even though as a trombonist, I play in the center For some reason, didgeridoo just plays better on the side for me personally. If you talk to some other players, some other people out there, I remember having a lot of conversations with Will Thorin from Wet Didgeridoo about it, and he just super advocate for the center playing, and he's right. For certain things, it is better. For me personally, the side's better for more meditative playing, for more drone-based playing when you're not jumping all over the place with trumpet. That's the main difference to me. Hope that's useful. Let's see. We got Random Rapper. So nice waking up in the Northern Territory, Australia to this awesome didge playing. Some of the world's best players up here. Could never tire of listening to this. Thanks for being with us here today. Really appreciate it. Is there a didge player in Central Jersey I can contact to learn circular breathing? Possibly. Give us an email and we can give you some people that we know out that way. I definitely know someone in Philly, and I think I know 2 people in Philly, which is not too far from Central Jersey. One of them lives on the Jersey side, but it's like Philly suburbs, so I don't know, maybe an hour or 2 from you. We'll get in touch and find out. Thanks so much, Harriet, for being here, for getting me back into didge playing, she says. Great, thank you. Greetings from Germany to America. Thank you, Frank, for being here. Great show today. Thank you so much. I don't play the didgeridoo yet, but maybe in the future. This is really awesome learning about this amazing instrument. Thank you. Thank you, Barry G's. Ramble says awesome. And we just had a great crowd. Thanks for your valuable time and tips from Simon. Continue the great work. I hope to cross paths with you guys for a good jam. Keep it up. This was great. Thank you from Anna. Nancy Laurel, nice to see you. Such a delight. Thanks for reminding me, tightening the edges of the lips. Improved tons, and a lot of other thank yous here. So thank you guys so much for joining. This has been awesome, and a lot of fun being here with you guys. Super happy that I got to do my whole multi-camera setup, and I got to use iTablaPro, and I got to bring your comments on the screen and show you guys all our overlays for our different courses. We have a lot of other great courses. You know, I mentioned the Circular Breathing Mastery course, but there's some other ones that we have that I'm not mentioning here. Didgeridoo Skills Course is also a great one for anyone looking for more intermediate to advanced style playing. I'll see if I can actually bring that one on the screen. Let's see, we have a number of free courses as well that I do recommend. Let's see if I can just get this to show better. There's also a brand new course on Didge Project called It's All About Rhythm with Kevin Nathaniel, and that is a really, really fantastic course for anyone who's looking to improve your rhythm. So definitely check that one out. Okay, here's the Didgeridoo Skills Course. If you want the intermediate level to advanced level playing, this is the one I recommend because it's going to show you a lot of different rhythms and a lot of other cool techniques that you can apply to your didge, more than I covered here today. There's about 6 hour-and-a-half long courses when you buy this course that I actually recorded with a live audience. So definitely check that one out. Again, didgeproject.com/courses. I'm going to throw that link up on the screen so you guys can see. And there's a bunch of free courses on there too. If you want to learn throat singing, there's a free throat singing course on there. And so there's a link, didgeproject.com. Oh, it's courses, not course. Courses. There we go. All right, so thank you guys so much for being here. It's been amazing, and I'm so happy I got to play with you guys. Got another few shout outs from Amsterdam. Looks like some Russian in there. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Anya Bray. And everyone else who came. Thank you guys so much. It's been awesome. And I will see you. I'll try to do this again soon. It's been really great. And look out on the Didge Project YouTube channel for more videos coming soon. Like I said, just recorded 6 didgeridoo tutorials. Really in-depth, nice quality videos. I recorded them in 4K. Really good sound and everything, so stoked to get you guys those. Thank you, and we will see you next time. Saying bye-bye. Bye, guys.